Okay, guys, welcome back to another very exciting Ami Athletics episode. This week's episode is actually going to be a very special one, and I'll tell you guys why. Because we have one of the founding board members of Ami Athletics with us. We have some never-before-heard information about how Ami came about, how it got put together. I know you guys heard a little bit from me in the first one, but you're going to hear it from a different perspective. So we have a lot of good content coming, the power rankings, the community, all the events going on in Ami. So stay tuned. But first, I wanted to introduce a guy that I know for a very long time, Yehuda Nisanov, who happens maybe to also be my brother. But Yehuda, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Yehuda Nisanov, like my brother said. I'm actually Ari's older brother. Been in the league, I don't know how many years, probably the Z League, probably like 12 or 13. I don't know how long it's been around.
It's 12
but
years.
But the real excitement, I think, the real excitement of the Z League was once the captain's tradition started. And that's really where it got exciting and a lot more competitive.
Okay, but we'll get there. But tell us what you do off the court. What do you do for a living?
What I do off the court, I'm a diamond dealer. I work on 47th Street. Grew up in Kew Garden Hills all my life. Still live in Kew Garden Hills.
Family, kids.
Else? Family, yeah.
Involved in the community.
Kids. I'm on the board for Ami, but really it's Richie and Elon, and pretty much Richie and Elon and David really pulling this freight train a very, very long way, and the potential is really there.
So here's my question. I remember when Ami was coming about, right? It was a few guys who were coming together or whatever. So when you got that call, it's a big responsibility to come onto a board and really jump onto a very fast-paced moving ship. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of achrayus. You have a business. You have 6 kids. You were building a house at the time. So what pushed you to jump on this very fast-moving ship? Or maybe you didn't know it was going to be such a fast-moving ship.
So I'll tell you honestly, I was actually walking from the train. I was going to the office, and I heard a little bit, bits and pieces, that Richie was, he wants to start his own league. I'm thinking, yeah, okay, Richie's going to start his own league, but it's not going to really get anywhere. People get fizzled out. This Z League is intense. But I didn't realize how much more intense Richie was. He's the type of person that wherever you're going to put him, he's really going to lose sleep over succeeding. So I didn't realize at the time how, so Richie asked me, you want to be on the board? Okay,
so you didn't know you were signing yourself up for?
I didn't know what I was signing myself up for. I didn't realize the potential of this. And then once I actually started to understand what this was about and what the plan really was, then I started to see, wow, this thing is going to go through the roof.
So my question to you is, what is the plan? You said what the plan really was. What is the plan?
The plan really was sort of like, the Bukharan community had, let's see, in the 90s, or in the early 2000s, but in the 90s, we sort of had like a Bet Gavriel type of cornerstone to the community where a lot of things were coming under that roof. And you can look back at it today and see how many great things came out of that building and out of that organization for the community. That's the kind of potential I think that Ami Athletics has once we have the building and all the different programs and events that Rich is really working his tail off to really
so can you be more specific on the programs? Because
the programs are I'll tell you, the programs are, obviously everybody knows the Z League, right? You come there on a Sunday afternoon. My son forgot his jacket over there one time on a Sunday afternoon. So 6 o'clock I go back in there to get his jacket from a 2 o'clock program that he was running a clinic for. You come back in there and you just see that door revolving, and a different age and another age and another age and another age. So that's, you have all the different basketball clinics on Sundays for the kids. You have the Z League. You have, I don't know if, once we get a building, obviously, we're going to be able to have a swimming class, whatever, a football class, soccer class. Then you have Richie doing this toy drive. A lot of things are coming under the roof. You have the Nets game that Richie organized together.
We're going to get to all there, but...
So those are the different programs that you have. You have father-son learning in Motzei Shabbos. You have a lot of different things coming under this one roof, and it's really bringing the community together, and it's amazing to see.
So what makes you so passionate about this specifically, as opposed to, listen, there's a lot of different
organizations.
It depends if you want to call this Kiruv, but Kiruv organizations, community organizations, Chesed organizations.
Right.
You can go through Hatzalah and Gemachs, loan Gemachs, and blah blah blah. But why did this one? I could tell you guys from behind the scenes, this one struck a chord in him. where he felt very passionate and he was very enthusiastic. So that is behind the scenes information. So now I'm bringing it to the forefront of why this struck a chord in you and why you were so passionate about this.
So again, I went into this not knowing what it really was, what the ceiling really was, and this ceiling is tremendously high. Why I'm so passionate? Because I think the community needs it, and I think it's with the right and it has the right people on board. It really does. You know, there's always people, you go around, you see people around you. And somebody actually told me this one time, a long time ago, Ilan Shamsiyev. He said there's people who are going to help with their time. There's people who are going to help with their money. But don't ask me for my time. I'll give you money, don't ask me for my time. I'll give you my time, don't ask me for my money. And then there's people who are going to help you with both. And then there's people who are not going to help you with anything. So this board, right, and the leadership really, they're really putting their all into it and even putting their money where their mouth is. But they're really putting their time. Richie hasn't worked in probably like 6 months or something.
According to David and Tal, 5 months.
Yeah, and I'm not. I don't think
Ami all day.
I think all day. Yeah.
Wow.
Every week he has a new announcement.
No, toy drive, Ami, the athletic, the gear.
Yes.
And I don't think Elon's too far behind that. He's really. busy
Elon
with
is
this.
really the man behind this.
He deals with the stupidity. The ref wasn't good.
No,
the
Elon.
too tight.
I'm saying, listen, big shout out to Richie. I think Richie gets his credit, but people don't realize that behind every Richie idea is Elon Elishayev.
Logistics.
Logistic wise.
They're really giving their time. You can even say they're giving their money, and they're really focused on making this grow for the community. And that's what's so exciting about this. I think the community needs it. Listen, we came. Let's say the Bukharian people came in the 90s, right? You could say we are behind, or we were behind as a community, but we're definitely taking leaps and bounds and making a lot of progress with that. You see it, like say the youth is growing, we're becoming more open-minded. We came from communism. We didn't come from a capitalism country where you can be open-minded and really explore your ideas and really practice religion. Yeah. So now that we came and the leaps and bounds that we took since then is tremendous. And I think this is a cornerstone, another cornerstone to the community, and it's essential.
It's actually a great point, because a lot of people look at the Bukharian community and say, hey, we're so behind.
I mean, we are behind, but you're just justifying it.
We came from a communist country where it was just very like, do your thing, shut up.
There was
no ideas.
There was no space for innovation.
Exactly. And now there has been a big jump in the past 5 years, I would say. And obviously, this is something that is.
And I'll get into something, another thing that we see. I'm gonna go into the toy drive for a second, and it's really a special thing. Like you said, we are taking leaps and bounds and strides, and this one is spearheaded by Richie, the Richie Rich Foundation, whatever. And this is not actually a plug. I don't want that little sponsor thing. You want to give your money, you don't want to give your money. It doesn't matter. I just want to say one thing about it, is that how important this toy drive is, but really the real importance of it is that when you are, first of all, just a side point, I was talking with Richie on the way here. He was saying that the RCCS, which is an organization that helps with these sick kids and their families and gives them, it's an organization that provides support to the family also to help them through this tough time.
Rofe Cholim Cancer Society.
Rofe Cholim Cancer Society. That's what it stands for. Okay, so RCCS.
It's pretty much the same thing as Chai Lifeline, right?
Right.
I don't know. So Richie was telling me, first of all, how he grew the toy drive from 75 kids going to a hospital to now it's 400 or 500 kids that they're buying for, which means that the budget is very high. So Richie was very inspired by one of the stories, and he went over to the RCCS and he said, give me a list of 25 kids that can't make it to whatever, let's say the toy drive or whatever it is, they're too sick. So they gave him a list. So Richie was very inspired. He's like, listen, we don't have the funding to really go above and beyond for all these kids. I'm just going to pick one kid. So one kid he saw, his dream was to go to Disneyland. So Richie's like, you know what? Listen, the funding, we don't really have, the funding's not really there, but you know what? I'm going to figure it out. And it's funny. I don't know if you guys remember, but on the chat, he's like, does anyone have connection to Disney or Orlando, blah, blah, blah. And then a day later, you see, we're sending. So what Richie ended up doing is not only sending the kid, not only giving the kid a PS5, but sending the kid, because he really wanted to go to Disney World. Now he can't send him by himself. So he sent the kid and his entire family to Disney World, paid vacation, with hotel tickets, which how much is each ticket to Disney World?
120, 130 bucks,
100 each ticket for one day, okay? So the kid is going, his family is going, the parents are going. So now that makes a tremendous effect and on the kid and on the parents' state of mind. And it's crazy because I was reading, if you really look at the data, this is not just these metaphoric, esoteric things that you say. It's not a segula. If you go boots on the ground and you read the data, and you go through it. There's from the Make-A-Wish Foundation did a study in 2018, and they said from 90% of care providers, they took all the patients, the kids who are sick and whatever it is, and they put them all together, and they saw the difference, the improvement of after these kids, after they get the toys, and after they do the toy drives, or after they get their wish. And here's what they reported. They reported that number one, it helps the kids, but in a few ways. Number one, it lowers cortisone levels, right? Because it releases endorphins, which is good in the short term for pain, right? Endorphins are good for pain. So at least in the short term, the kids are dealing with the pain properly. They have to take less painkillers. Number two is that they're in a better mood, so they're more adherent to treatment. They're more willing to do treatment. A lot of times, little kids, they don't want to do this, they don't want to do this painful treatment. And even if they do it, they're very pessimistic about it, which also hires cortisone levels, which delays recovery. So now you give the kid the PS5, you give the kid the Disney World, and suddenly he's more adherent, he's more cooperative with the treatment. His cortisone levels are less, which is linked to higher recovery rate. And they report that kids who participate more or who are more involved in, let's say, the drives, and they go and they get that hope and they get that simcha and they get that happiness, have a 20 to 30% less or quicker recovery time from their hospital visit, which I think is a crazy number. That means 30%
just from a gift.
Quicker, just from one of these drives, just showing the people that care and how it improves their. Like I said, it goes through all the statistics, and you could bring a kid out of the hospital 30% quicker. And we knew this already for millennia. This is literally just called Bikur Cholim, just with extra steps. But I think this toy drive, as fancy as it is, and Floyd Mayweather, whatever it is, in the end of the day, it's just it's caring about kids and saving their life, or potentially saving their life, and even if it's just making them more comfortable, I think it's a really, really a beautiful thing.
100%, and it ends soon. I think it ends on the 15th. So
I don't know when it starts or when it ends.
Whoever is listening out there, make sure you drop something.
Support
it's obviously a big deal.
It's a good thing. I'll tell you just one thing. Based on that, I heard, let's say guys, they take their family to Disney World, right? So not only the effect on the child who's going through that situation is a big deal itself, but let's say also for the siblings, it's a big deal on the family. It's very straining. So once, let's say, when the child is done with the treatment, it takes the family away, and it sort of opens it up. It brings them back together because the parents are busy with it, and the children are, having to sacrifice their time with their parents or whatever. So that whole situation becomes all of a sudden brighter again. And that's also, I know High Lifeline, they do it after a family goes through something like this, and the child or the person finishes treatment, they take the family away to Disney World. That's also a big reason why they do it.
Take away all that negativity.
Yeah.
I want to tap into something else. When you were mentioning, you struck a chord. You were saying about the board, and you were involved with all these wonderful people and getting all this beautiful stuff done, and we talked many times about how it looks like just basketball now, but it's not really just basketball. It's just getting people together for a whole lot of things, and that's what community is, getting together for a lot of great things to make this place that we live that much greater. And really, it's the beauty of Judaism, because in Judaism, what did Yaakov Avinu have a dream? He dreamed that the ladder was on the ground, and the ladder was reaching Shamayim. And that's what a Jew is. A Jew is at the same time in this world, but at the same time he's reaching tremendous heights. And we take things and we uplift it like a ladder, raising it up. So we're taking the basketball, a very mundane thing, but we're using it to accomplish some bigger goal of uniting the community, letting this be a springboard to other great programs. And really, that's the secret. Because if we look, Yaakov, he went through a lot. He had his father-in-law who tricked him. He had to marry a bunch of women that he didn't expect to marry, and he's dealing with all these kids, Esav and whatnot, and he handled it like a pro. He didn't we don't read the Torah that he got mad and he cursed off his father-in-law and fought with this one, fought with that one. He was like a mensch through and throughout. And that's the power of taking this world and seeing beneath the surface, realizing there's something greater going on, and realizing to think bigger than you feel and you are. And that's a tremendous lesson that Ami is teaching us, that we have to always remember, don't forget the big scheme of things. A lot of times when we play, we get, this foul and this little detail, that's why we lost. or people focus on themselves as a player and don't forget to play as a team. You're a part of your team. Forget your stats, forget your points for a minute. Like, you're a team. You have to play as a team. Don't forget the bigger picture. And Ami is constantly plugging away, like Yaakov Avinu, reminding us constantly. Don't forget the bigger scheme of things. Focus on the big picture. When you do that, everything just gets elevated.
I just want to add to that. You see, Ami, it's sort of like a veil. The basketball is like the smorgasbord, but really the main event, the really big thing, the big picture from this is, let's say we went to Mishpato's wedding. You know how many guys from the Z League or guys from his former white team came? You know how many relationships you guys form, or all of us, we form. He made it with his green team. You're making it with all your other teams. I made it with my teams. You're making it with your teams. I met so many people through this league, and now you see them in the bagel store, you see them in the pizza shop, you see them in shul. All of a sudden, you have a connection, right? I have a connection with Nathan Yochananov now. Yaakov Chaimov, let's say his father's not feeling well now, right? So he almost dropped out of the league. I called him up. I said, Yaakov, just come to the league, and last second, whatever it is, if right before the league starts, drop out, somebody will take your place. But really, you should come. I think it's good for you. It's a very good outlet, basketball. It's a very good outlet from our, life is stressful, So Yaakov Chaimov is another great guy. Happens to be having a wonderful season. Shout out to Yaakov. I think he's really carrying that white team. But Yaakov Chaimov is a guy that I built a relationship with. And you have your story. He has his story. That's the beauty.
And then eventually maybe they won't just be friends. They'll do business. They'll do a chesed together. They'll take a wing under Ami to do something else.
Absolutely.
Like Zaki's football.
Right.
Yes, guys. Flag football.
No, not the time. We're gonna edit that out. But I just have a question for you, Rabbi. How would you define community?
Again, community is obviously in the simplest form, a bunch of people who live next to each other. But what do we imagine and we hope and we wish to build is like-minded people who understand maybe slight differences amongst each other, and that's okay. But we get together when we need to do great things, whatever it may be.
Shared goal.
Shared overall goal that everyone should grow spiritually, everyone should grow financially, everyone should grow and have amenities for whatever they may be going through.
Define a community by a group of people with a shared goal.
Yes, 100%.
Growth in spirituality,
100%.
which is what going
now, obviously, by a Jewish community.
Shabbos learning program as well, which is another thing that.
That's actually very important.
It's going to be this.
A lot of people actually asked on the chat last week was off, but this week, Rabbi, right? We're on.
Yes. But the thing about Jewish community, though, it's another layer. Communities in general, like you have the people who work for the board, so they decide, are we changing the sidewalk or not? Are we allowing this type of one-way street or not? That's like very, But then we get into the spiritual stuff. It's another layer, Jewish community. Like we have schools and different schools, different types of people, and then you have organizations of people who get sick, and then you have, things for leisure and things for our kids to do, so they're not on the street, and there's so many layers you could tap into, and we all have to feel a chiyuv, an obligation to say, I have to put in my piece for that community because I have to leave this place, make it better for me now, and also leave it for the next generation much better.
I actually think that there are two things that are extremely important, and I'll explain why. One is the father-son clinics that they have on Sunday that he takes his son to, and number two is the father-son learning. And I think that bridge, like listen, growing up, any of us here, we didn't go anywhere with our fathers on a Sunday and played basketball with us. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and I think it's very important that in a playful and a positive setting, a father and son get together, and I'll tell you guys why. I remember when I was in yeshiva, Rabbi Greenwald showed me a Ramban that said that the way, and this is very interesting, a child views his parents, namely his father, he sees them as a god, right? So the way a child views their relationship with their father is the way a child views their relationship with God. Meaning, if the father is this tyrant and blah, 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 he will view God as this tyrant. Now, he may be very frum and religious, but and then, or if the father is not around and not existent, he can have trust issues, and oftentimes those lead to atheists, whatever. This is a Ramban, and there's actually psychological evidence for this, that oftentimes that there's a massive correlation. So now, and the inverse is true also. Rabbi Greenwald told me, he's like, if I see a kid come in there and he's cursing out his father, I already know he has a problem with God. And Rabbi Greenwald said the inverse is true. If I see a kid coming in here and he's cursing out God, I already know he has a problem with his father. So now, and he went on to even go to more extreme cases, but we're just going to leave that out. So I think that it's very important that in a positive and a very playful area, that fathers and sons, and well, really, it's really both parents serve as God, because from 0 to 11 years old, the parents serve as God, and blah blah blah, whatever it is.
The positive bonding.
But the positive bonding and creating that positive association with authority, because a lot of times Bukharian kids have this problem with authority, and where does it come from? You know, if a cop tells them something, a teacher tells us, "Yo, you're gonna tell me to whatever," it's stupidity, right? But we know where it comes from, right? And just breaking that stigma and breaking that ideology of like, no, Rabbanim, fathers or people in authority, they're good, they're out for you, and they're there to help you. And this, I think, the father's son is spending time in a positive environment and not just telling him that you're not doing your homework or punishing him, I think goes a long way.
Amen to that.
100%. Well said. I actually like that.
So
you actually like that? Yes.
Well said. Well said.
That's the first thing you said.
First of all, yesterday I said that you're doing an amazing job with your team.
No,
everyone saw in the chat.
He also took a shot at me, but
I did not take a shot.
Call me before Yom Kippur for that.
I said you're doing an amazing job. Did I say anything wrong?
It's
getting
hot in here with 3 Nisanovs. Let's go to the power. Let's go to the power rankings.
All right, guys. Week 5 power rankings is here.
I can't wait to play Orange. I can't wait.
Week 5 power rankings.
I brought my bag of oranges ready to throw them.
Now, before I say anything, guys, save your oranges. Guys, eat a lot of oranges. It's winter. It's cold. Make sure you stock up your fridge with a lot of orange juice. And, you got to stay healthy. But before I say anything, remember, guy, I just want to say one thing. Don't take this personal.
Take it personal.
All you guys watching, don't take it personal. I got to put someone at 14. I got to put someone at 1. And
wait. Can everybody make the playoffs?
No.
Everyone has potential?
Oh, everyone has potential.
Okay, there we go.
12 teams make the playoffs.
12 teams make it. It's
so if
not
you're
that
14,
hard.
doesn't mean you can't make the playoffs. You could still make the playoffs.
Listen, I love everything about
How many wins do you think it takes to get into the playoffs?
The one thing I
Five
don't
or
like
five
about
or
it
You think 5?
is 12 teams making the playoffs. I think that's absurd. It's like
think
giving a
it's absurd?
participant trophy to everyone. I think
How
it
many
should have been
think it
10
should-
max. 8
Yo,
really,
can you
but
get
10
into
max.
the power rankings? I forgot that we...
that's just on a rant.
Thank God we don't pay you for your opinion on this.
Number 14, we're going to go with Teal.
Who's 14?
We're going to go with Teal. I had a lot of requests from the purple team to put them at 14 this week, but I'm going to have some Rahmanis. You're here. I'm sorry. I have to do this. I'm just going to give my honest opinion. Like I said, every week, you guys are good. You guys have potential, but something's got to be figured out, bro.
They didn't have Daniel Mordechai.
Yes. By the way,
17?
this has nothing to do with the last week. The week before they were at 14. I didn't see enough to pick them up. That's what this is at.
And they lost to Light Green.
They lost to Light Green.
Cause.
Light Green, you can't jump them. You lose to them. So it's not enough to pick you up. Next week, you could be 11.
Do you think that was a fluke losing to Light Green?
I think we should have won that game, yeah, 100%.
Why?
We lost momentum in the middle. We scored on their basket. Didn't execute down the stretch. Technical fouls in the end. Made a bad switch on defense. It was just like, Daniel Mordechai not there. But you know what? In the end of the day, I'll tell you
That's
this.
a big deal, Mordechai.
I'll tell you this. The winners, they don't need excuses. The losers need excuses. My player. I think we beat them.
You're a better team than
I think we're a better team, but we lost. So
what do you think
the losers need the excuses, not the winners, right? The winners just point to the banner. The losers all say, the refs, my team wasn't there, execution, technical fouls, whatever. But those are all excuses. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We lost. That's it.
What do you think your team needs to do differently to get up from this floor?
First of all, we're just figuring everybody out. Game 1, Daniel Mordechai had like 44 points. So we thought game 2, give him the ball, get out of the way. Then they made adjustments, right? So we got to take, and then all of a sudden, Nathan Elibayev last game, he's going to work down low. So, that works too. And then we're figuring out what works, what doesn't work. And then we're going to get it all together. And hopefully in the right time, we make a right run.
So
I think we're a talented team.
How do you fit Igal into the system?
I got to fit Igal into the system as more of a mentor.
Less of a
mentor. And more of picking and choosing the spots and running the offense sometimes when it gets staggered. Listen, he's 40 years old. I'm 36. I had 2 knee surgeries also. I'm not that guy who's going to make the biggest difference. I go for 25 a game. I don't think Igal is either at this point in his career. He still has some gas in the tank, but that's how I fit him in. Let's say as a change of pace type of guy.
Do you think Nathan Eliabayev is a tier 1? Are you happy with that pick?
Yes, absolutely. I think he's a top 5 defender in the league. He's a very smart player. I like him a lot.
Good rebounder also.
I like him a lot. I like Nathan Eliabayev a lot.
Do you regret any of your picks?
No.
All right.
He doesn't have the volume of shots
I don't
like
care about the
Yohananov we had last year.
Yeah, Yohananov is a different type of tier 1. He's a different type of tier 1.
Okay.
You know, he plays very, very good help defense.
Yohananov isn't your typical tier 1.
He's a different type of tier 1.
He's a unicorn.
He's whatever. Anyways, number 13, we're gonna go with light green again, same as last week. They beat you guys, but
Matayev won.
Matayev, first of all, Mazal Tov to the entire light green team. It's week 5, and you finally have your first win. So
can we play the dance? Can we play the dance? We're gonna play the dance.
Okay.
Yeah, the dance.
Ask the permission first, though.
What do you guys think is funnier, honestly, the Shlomi shut up clip or Gabby Yakbo flying into the wall?
I think that was.
Shlomi, shut up.
Really?
Was the
ref had to hold the ball because he was laughing so hard.
The more I watched the Gabby one, that one cracks me up more and more. The first time
both refs, they had to hold the ball. They were cracking.
I didn't know what happened with the Gabby one.
Was funnier because Shlomi was going for that.
Right. That's funny.
I think Gabby running into the wall was funny.
Gabby was running into the wall was up.
I thought it was a joke.
Somebody's got to put together a compilation of like a Shaq and a fool.
Shaq and a fool.
Oh, we're gonna do a side by side if we can. Also, who danced better, Gabby Yakubov or Aaron Matayev?
Yes.
Okay, next.
Let Avi Rubinov do it. He's very good with these things.
Actually, Avi Yugodayev is great at this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll give it to him. Avi Yugodayev. We're waiting.
We'll show the clips here. Hopefully they could do it. If not,
oh, that's a good idea. Okay. Number 12. We're gonna go with gold. Massive drop.
Yeah.
Massive.
What
they
happened
were
to
missing
them?
Mikey Onatan.
I don't care who you're missing. They got blown out.
No, they didn't. Last game.
No.
It was a
2
close
weeks
game.
ago. 2 weeks ago,
They
they
lost
got
by 30,
blown
no?
Yeah,
out.
they got blown out by Red.
It was so embarrassing. You know, you see maybe a bounce back or something, and then again they lose in a horrible way.
It's tough. It's tough.
Who they play this week?
This is what's it called?
They played Navy Blue.
This is
Right. They lost the name.
and Navy Blue is a pretty good team. I think they're trending up, but still, it's
They're getting it together, Navy Blue, right now.
I said
gold
this
is
from the beginning. I said this.
Navy Blue is good. Navy Blue is
playing them
good.
next week.
X Factor on that team, Eliran Elishayev.
Yeah.
He's nasty.
Big
defender.
X factor.
Yeah, he's a good defender.
He's no tier 6-7 like Black got him last year.
No, he's a tier 4 player.
I was telling
No, tier
Jason.
3, low
I took
3.
the train with
Low
Jason.
3,
I'm
high
like, yo,
4.
did you guys realize what you had last season in the backcourt? Jason, Mikey, and Eliran doing that trap in their 3-2 zone. I'm like, I don't even know how anyone got past that trap.
It was very hard. He was very good. Number 11. We're gonna go with purple. Another massive slide. I mean, massive. This. You know, I said in the preseason, I said purple would be a good team. They have a lot of potential. They're all boys.
Any
But what
team
happens?
Israel of On has potential.
But what happens when they lose 2 games in a row? Because they have a couple of personalities there, a couple of boys.
I want to know what happened in their group chat.
Yeah.
No, but I think Avi Ashurov hurt his shoulder. I think he's out for the season.
He tore his meniscus.
Oh, his meniscus.
But he wasn't even starting.
No, but he's a good player.
He's a hustler.
Good.
He's a
not
hustler.
starting.
He's a very good player.
Their problem is defense, and he was
I don't think
defense.
that's
No,
their
he was a
problem.
good defender.
He was very
True,
good.
but they were also giving up a lot of points when he was in. It hasn't changed.
Again, it's about figuring it out. But
They're averaging like
he's a big piece.
75 points a game.
I think they
giving
don't-
up.
I don't
which is
think they run
ridiculous.
back. I don't think they run back.
Cherry picking is
Israel
you're
runs
saying.
back.
No, defense.
Defense.
They don't run
Purple
back
doesn't
on defense.
Yeah,
You
because
fast
they're
break
waiting-
against them, and that's
because
it.
they're waiting for the ball in offense.
Right,
That's what I'm saying,
right,
yeah.
right.
You talk about one person. Next.
I mean, I don't think one person. I think it's I don't know, but
But
whatever.
but at his age, I don't think you'd be doing that.
Yeah, at everything about 36. Coach Avi. There has to be an asterisk.
He's one of the
36.
Lamed Vav basketball players.
Yeah, in the month of Kislev. Okay, let's go.
Number
Real
10.
hidden talent.
Number 10. We're gonna go with Gray. Big win this week for you, Rabbi.
Yeah, huge. Jay Shao showed up and dropped 30.
30 points.
30 points.
You start playing him off ball, right? Arthur bringing up the ball.
Yeah.
Jason, I'm
Yeah,
sorry to
he has
expose
a lot
you,
of
but that's what it
talent.
was.
He has a lot of talent. So you're basically going away from. I mean, it's been one game, but you're going away from the strategy of him running the offense as opposed to him being the offense.
Yes, exactly.
He could do it.
He could do it.
You got the doctor bringing up the ball. Doctor, good player. I like him.
Yeah.
I don't see him shooting that much,
No,
but he has a good shot.
we're very tough inside. Very tough.
But he has a shot. Why doesn't he shoot more?
He feels more confident with his hop step layup. I don't know. He's pretty good in there. He finds
hop step,
people. He finds
pulls
people
you in the
drives.
paint. That's
But
number 10.
we're gonna get Zaki Nisanov to believe in Gray. You're gonna start bleeding Gray soon. Don't worry.
Listen, you guys have been going up the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So
you watch
His only
us.
championship was great.
Okay, good.
yes, 13 years ago, guys. Remember, all these people telling me I can't play.
We have Eliran next.
I dropped 25 in the finals. So everyone calm down.
Nobody cares.
Yo, Nisanov. Oh
I gotta
my
get Richie to
goodness.
put a banner. We gotta have a Hall of Fame, honestly. I'm not saying Am should be in it, but we need to have a Hall of Fame to all the older guys, all his friends. Ilan Shamsiev, you guys don't know this, used to be he was the Jason back then. Maybe not that level.
Way.
No, not
No
that
way.
Not that
The
level.
closest-
Like relative to the league.
was nasty.
The closest thing to Jason in this league was Casanova.
Who's Casanova?
I don't know if you remember that kid was lights
Way back.
out.
What,
I don't- I-
like
I-
10
I-
years,
I-
10
I-
years
I-
ago?
a different league. It was a
10
very
years
different
ago?
league.
I don't know,
It was a
6,
very different.
7,
It was a
8
make
years
your own
ago.
team, 16 teams. It was,
Okay.
Elon 10 years
kid.
ago was averaging 25 a game.
Wow.
Elon was nasty.
Yeah, Elon was averaging a
Elon
lot.
was
Yeah,
nasty. Number 9, we're gonna go with Maroon. Big game last
They're
night.
sliding.
honestly, it was a tough game.
It was
though.
they weren't.
both-
Last week I had them I think at 10 or 9. They're not
both-
sliding.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
look.
saying their team. What's going on with their team?
Listen, it was a very close game. You're gonna play games.
What's the record?
They're 1-3. A lot of close
1-4,
games with them.
no?
No, they missed a game. A lot of close games. They just lost to Gold. They just lost to them. They also just lost to you guys. They're 3 very close losses. They're probably in the plus.
The first game
You know?
they shot like 75%.
Yeah, they made 90 points.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Is that sustainable? Obviously, it's not. And now
No.
they're 1-3.
Yeah.
They're still a good team. They're not losing bad.
They just
they're
lost to Yellow, right?
They lost. Yellow's a good team. Yeah, the problem with Yellow. Okay, we'll get them when we get to them. But Maroon is number 9. Number 8, we're gonna go with Navy. Big trend upwards. Big trend upwards. I spoke about it last week.
Bypassed the ball.
Jacob Arambayev became a star after last week.
Yes.
And again, it was evident last night or whatever, this week, when he played with his team balled. When you have the trust of your tier 1, that leadership, hey, you know what? I can score, but you can score. And if you're open, you're going to get the ball. The team feeds off that, and the team starts scoring. And all of a sudden, you take a few less shots. Magically, your team goes up to 70, 80 points.
Yeah.
So this kid Arambayev is nasty, bro. I want to see that matchup with thank you, with him and Rafaelov.
Ooh.
I want to see that matchup.
Rafaelov is probably the most athletic kid in the league.
Yeah, but Arambayev is right behind him, and he's bigger, and he's taller.
When we played him, he goes up for layups. He goes all out. He doesn't. Flies.
Have you played him yet?
Who?
His
Arambayev.
body on the line.
Yeah.
He's
No.
very. You'll
airborne.
see. I want to see that, Rafael. I want to see what happens.
They're boys, Nate Rafaelov and Arambayev. They grew up together.
Good luck to them.
They drink the same Kool-Aid.
Or yeah, not for the show.
Torah-Aid.
Number 7, we're gonna go with yellow.
I love their jerseys.
The yellow team.
Yeah.
I think orange.
This is very bright.
I think orange is the worst color. No.
Okay, what do you think of yellow? No one cares about your thoughts.
Why do you hate orange so much? What is it with you and hating?
it's because you're Nisanov.
It's just orange.
I
Just
think
orange.
he's creating a
And-
narrative that green has to hate orange because he's playing us.
But the real question is, Zaki, the real question is Aliran and Yosef sustainable and going to pick up their team? Or is it going to be always Batman Robin?
You know what's weird about yellow? I don't even know how to answer that question. If anyone loses to yellow, it's like, bro, they're amazing. Their ceiling is like probably 1 or 2 seed, 3 seed. That's their ceiling. They have a very high ceiling. Their floor is also low because I think they can clash a lot.
Yeah.
And people don't realize they have good defenders. Moshe Baruchov, Shlom Matatov. These kids are annoying.
But they have a problem with faster teams.
they do. Because
Daniel
they don't-
Mordechai was able to score 44 because he's fast.
Well, it wasn't 4-on-4s. You can't play
It was
zone.
4-on-4, yeah, but they're gonna have a problem with faster teams. But let's see how they do it.
I mean, they played green. No, they didn't play green.
How are they gonna stop Jason? How are they gonna stop guys like that? How are they gonna match up with him?
No, they did play green. They beat you.
Oh, they did. They did.
Yellow
Yeah,
played
yeah,
green.
yellow,
Again, you were
yellow.
missing guys. So
Yeah,
let's see.
They played us.
They offensively they have very high
play zone. When
ceiling.
they
That's
do it,
that's
they
good about yellow. So we'll see how they
What
go.
was the scores that game? Maroon, yellow. In the 60s?
The maroon and yellow, it was I think high 50s, maybe low 60.
60s.
Yeah, low 60. Whatever. It was a very
It's a
back and
heavyweight
forth game. Yeah,
championship match.
back and forth game. Number 6, we're gonna go with white. Now that I know Avi Rubino is gonna be pissed. I know.
I'm 4-1. I'm 4-1.
Yeah, I know a lot of the white guys are gonna be pissed. Listen, maybe it's because
After the reserve cut, can you put them a little bit higher?
They're good. They have a good team. I'm telling you, Yakov's playing well. Leo's
Disciplined,
playing well.
disciplined.
Eli Yakov knows his role.
they're very. Do you think they're a
Josh
top 3 team?
Normatov's a bowler.
Do you think they're a top 3 team
Yeah.
right now?
Yes. They're number 3.
I think it's very close. I'm at 6 with them.
So what's missing for them for you?
I'll tell you like this: between 6 and 7 is a big gap. Very, very big.
a
gap.
drop-off.
There's a big gap.
So why are they not at number 3 for you, or number 2, or number even 1?
First of all, we played them without Gabi Akman. We beat them. So I guess maybe
so it
that's
just
hindering.
revolves around
It's just
orange.
maybe no.
I don't care. It's not about winning and losing. It's about the potential that you see in them.
I think they have potential. I just see the star power and the completeness of some teams. I would say maybe they might have an edge over red, but red is just bowling out. They're holding every team under 50 besides your game 4-on-4, but they're holding every team under 50, and it seems like red maybe has peaked, which sometimes is a bad thing, but sometimes a good thing because they figured it out. And sometimes people go through a whole season without figuring it out. We've had teams like that. A whole season gone by.
Their whole life without figuring.
Thank you for the mustache moves. But that's why I have white at number 6. But again, there's white 4, 5, 6, even 3 are really like interchangeable. Number 5, light blue. Again, light blue lost to white, right? Light blue lost to white this week. But I think obviously everyone has off nights, everyone has good nights. I think in a best of 7 series, I think Light Blue's beating that team.
What was it? Why'd they lose? It
was a blowout, but Yochananov brought it back. Yochananov is lights out. I think there's as a team, Light Blue didn't have it that night.
Listen,
they
didn't have it.
What was the best team in NBA history? What do you think? Best team in NBA history?
Golden State Warriors.
How many games they lost that week? That year? 10 games. You're going to lose games. You're going to be the best team. You're going to lose games. You wake up late. You have a cold. You didn't...
You play red without your players.
For them, that's a full win.
For red, that's a full-blown... They should be first in the power rankings.
Number 4, we're going to go with red. The red team.
They should be number 1.
I want to shout out red team. Big win last night. You guys honestly played your brains out. You guys showed up. You shot well. You defended hard. Gabby Chavizo, big shout out on your blocks last night. I think red is scary, bro. They blew out.
Stepping back now. He's staying back and taking
They blew out the defending champs.
Blew out defending champs at over 15. Red is nasty. But in all seriousness, guys, the fact that red is bragging about this win just shows you how they don't have that championship caliber yet. Because no serious team is going to brag about such a win. They'll be embarrassed. They wouldn't show up even. So that's just...
It's actually on the record. I think it's my fault that you weren't able to change the game. But I apologize anyways.
Wow.
That they asked me. My guys couldn't change it. But listen, that's life. It happens. Happens. People have things that come up.
Listen, we have 13 games.
That's part of the reason why they put 12 teams in the playoffs, so guys don't lose their mind over switching games.
Right.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason.
Then the people get heated.
Yeah, people get heated.
They get like personal grudges. Yeah.
Switching games is a headache. It's almost like splitting the sea.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, that's great.
A delivery.
Awesome.
Mid-podcast delivery.
Oranges.
Oh, wow. Check it out.
Orange is not the new black.
Orange is not the new black, guys.
And then we're going to bring... And then Coach Javi's going to throw one at you.
I don't know which camera I should show this to, but orange is not... Thank you, Anonymous, whose name rhymes with Schmitchy Schmitch.
And then Coach Avi throwing one at you.
Orange is not. We should deliver this to Coach Avi.
Yes.
And all the people who lost the orange. At number 3, guys, we have at the right time special delivery orange team.
Why did you lose by 20?
So before we even get to my loss, guys, I did not put myself at 3. I think we should be maybe a little lower.
Good job, Yehuda.
But I rated them lower.
Mr. Yehuda Nisanov had us. I do want to say he did have us under white, but above red and light blue. So we had us by default in number 3. But what do you think about orange?
I don't see how you guys are going to be able to match up with green and black.
Well, we are under them.
What?
We are under green and black.
Right. So I'm saying that's a big problem, and I think white is there too. So then after that, then I think that's where you guys belong.
What do you think orange is lacking? Besides for, well, we have a lot of oranges here, but what do you think we're lacking?
You don't have, I don't see you guys getting over the top if you have to go through black, because I don't see how you guys are going to game plan and keep up with Jason, and I don't see how you guys are going to be able to get through green. Those are the 2 main obstacles. That's what I think you're lacking. I still think you're a top 4 team.
But I think also what he's saying is that there's like, I know you're on the court, and you're the presence, but there has to be some sort of like top down that gets everybody disciplined.
I think you guys need to practice with your full team. Everybody there showing
we
up.
have not had that yet.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's important that every person show up on your team, every person say they're in on your team.
Right.
I think that's very important.
To be honest with you, I thought you guys would be a lot worse. And then I saw you guys play. In the beginning of the season, based on the draft, I didn't think you guys would be that good or this good. And you guys are much better than I thought.
Gabby Yakubov.
Yeah, I know, but last year also, I didn't see you got to have the pieces come together.
Yeah.
I didn't see these pieces coming together, and they put it together nicely.
They're lighting up on their own.
Clicking.
Put it
So
together
2 seasons in a row, you didn't have illusion on Gabby's team.
No, but I didn't think they would get it together. Last year, I still don't think they ever got it together. This year, they look much better. This year they look good. They look like they're getting it together.
Why do you
Inside
think
out.
that is?
Gabby running around.
Who?
Tom is playing really
is
good.
having a very good defensive year.
Yeah.
He's a big defensive
Why
presence.
did he give up at the end of Black?
I think he was just frustrated. It happens. Guys
With
get
what?
frustrated. Lack of ball movement. I think I want to just say something. Right now, again, this is what we call advanced analytics.
We're not advanced, so we fell off.
Yeah.
Advanced analytics. Give the ball to Gabby.
Johnny Baruchov is the defensive player of the year.
Ooh.
Hot take.
Okay.
Hot take.
And why am I saying this?
What does he do?
Johnny
What does he
Baruchov's
do?
a nasty defender.
There you go. What does he do? He doesn't have blocks. He has a couple of steals, right? So you look at Gabi Hafizov and
How is he a D-boy?
and you look at these guys like they have blocks, they have blocks. This is advanced analytics. You know what I care about defensive player of the year? How many points are you giving up to the player you're taking as opposed to the rest of
But
the
that's
league?
not always accurate also. Because the
100%
best
it is.
defense, no, because I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you why that's flawed a little bit. The best defensive player on the team is always guarding, like let's say Shane Battier was guarding Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant still scoring 25 on him.
No,
whereas opposed to Tony Allen was guarding, I don't know, Hedo Turkoglu, who's only guarding scoring 10 on him.
So what I'm saying is, again, this is advanced analytics. You have to compare
Yes.
Kobe Bryant and the rest of the league. Who took Kobe Bryant and how many points did he get on each one of those guys? And the lowest guy. When you look at the guys,
advanced analytics.
when you look at the guys who Johnny Baruchov is taking, way under average. Gabi Yakimov at 18 points. He's so small, you can't even set a pick on him. Like
He goes under you.
I couldn't do it. I'm a big guy. Tom's a monster. We're trying to set picks all game, and he's just going under my leg. I don't know what he's doing. You just can't set a pick on the guy. And he's shut down. And every team he's played, he's taking the number one guy. He's small. He doesn't get blocks. He's not going to take a stronger drive. He's not going to take a bigger player. But the guards, which a lot of teams have very good shooting guards, he is shutting people down way below average. And I think that's the most important stat. So there's your
another shout out to Orange. They got this kid Yaron Baruch.
Rookie of the year.
Player. He's a
I
very.
love this
I
kid.
didn't see that coming.
Brother.
Also, I didn't see that coming. Also, that's why I didn't think much of it. But he's a big difference maker on your team. He's a very
number
good player.
2. We're gonna go with the green team. I genuinely don't understand if they're happy when I put them lower or upset because they say they suck. We want to be at 12. Blah, blah, blah.
We just want to be accurately ranked.
Okay. Green team has this thing that their coach Baruch Hashem is very smart. I gotta give credit, coach of the year. I gotta give credit where it's due. But they think that everyone is out to get them and that everyone has, we want to stop Green. We're going to beat Green and we have to.
I think you only think
and,
that. Nobody on my team.
Again, statement on behalf of the entire Z League. We love you guys. Daniel Yusufa is my boy, my cousin. He's also a runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. I don't want to disrespect him. He's an amazing defender.
I mean, we may make a rule that you can only win twice.
I think that's wrong. The best player should win it, regardless.
Yes, I agree. Be a little old school.
You're lucky you're a guest, or I would say
no, you can't.
But
it's
also,
not. You make.
Understand, Yehuda, it makes people feel like he won last year. Of course, he should win again. It makes like a bias.
No, if you play the best, you deserve it. Why
I think we need
shouldn't you get it?
advanced analytics to judge who wins the awards.
So you judge.
It's more
Well,
just
I
like
think you guys
it's like
have
a progressive
advanced analytics.
ideology. Everybody's a winner. You had your share. You had your share. It doesn't work like that.
Okay, got it. I hear you.
You know what we should do? Green won this last year. Green cannot win again.
Green one.
It's like if they win,
that's
the
a
other
good
team
point.
wins, that's it. It's over.
It seems like that's where we're
Yes.
going. Hey, I made the playoffs last year. I deserve an award.
Okay.
That's an accomplishment.
Okay, yeah.
Everybody gets a trophy.
It's very, very different, but whatever.
And by the way, I'm sorry on the loss this week. I know, again, and
Honestly,
a lot of you,
Red is just a better team.
I don't want to say idiots, but Green is 3-2. Why are they number 2?
I think it should be like a half loss, not like a loss. Like
It's a full
not-
loss, bro.
it's-
Gabi
it's a loss
Khafizov
in the
was scoring
standing.
layup after layup on us.
Yeah.
We had no answer for him. I don't.
Why didn't you put Remy on him?
there was no Remy.
There was no. I wanted to put Avi on him.
There was no Avi.
Got it.
So Daniel, I wanted to put on Alex.
He wasn't there either.
But listen, Red came to play. They dressed up. They
were
scored,
7 players.
They did what. In life, you got to do what you got to do. And Red did it. So I think Red is a better team.
Just squash the cockroach.
But listen, I still think Green
As
is number
Gabi
2.
Khafizov said to me on the sideline, you got to do what you got to do to win.
Exactly. They did it. They did it.
Quote unquote, taken out of
Number
context,
1,
but
we're going to
quote
go with
unquote.
Black. Last week, Black was number 2 and Green was 1. So why is obviously Black up now? This has nothing to do with Green's loss. I mean, in Red's mind, yes. But to everyone else in the league, this has nothing to do with Green's loss. This has to do with Black destroying Orange this week. It wasn't even close. Thank you, Rich Nictalo, for this bowl of oranges.
Black's getting it together.
I thought he was going to say
the chemistry-wise, they're coming together more and more
what's
every
his
game.
name? Koptiev was going nuts also.
Bro, their whole team was just like
going at it.
They were going.
Here's the crazy part. I was watching the game. There's some. This is the scary part, actually. There are some possessions Jason didn't touch the ball, and they still scored.
Yeah,
they're a good. They're
gonna get better and better.
I don't know how you beat them.
They're gonna get better.
How you did it? I don't know if they had an off night. I don't know. You think you beat them in a 7-game series?
I don't know, bro. Depends how much laxative I put in Jason's coffee. I don't know.
What do you think? Green and black. Who wins 7-game series?
I think Green's gonna win.
In best out of 7?
Yeah,
I have black. I have black.
I think Green's gonna win.
Wow, I don't know.
I have black.
I think black best out of 7 is making those adjustments. Jason making crazy adjustments, but
again,
I don't know.
Again, if you take, I love Jason. We're related, but those
really,
yeah, my wife's related. We're their first cousins.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So what's it called our second cousins. But the thing is, those shots. Everyone says about black, the shots at the end of the game. If Jason hits those, no one's beating them. Is that sustainable? That's the question.
He's been doing it.
But you know what we did?
When you live and you die by the 3, that's always the question.
But he didn't have that many.
Is it sustainable?
He's been doing it. He's been doing it.
Okay, but that's a very, very high level to maintain, hard to maintain.
But he didn't have a lot of threes against us. We put a guy very close to his. We played a box 1. He had 1,000,000 second chance points.
Abe Kanchorov keeps tapping it out.
The whole team. And I looked at the stat sheet after he had 40 points. I mean, how did he had like 4 threes? But he just they just have so many different avenues of how to play and score and win. It's
Rob
crazy.
shows up, Yuri shows up, Johnny shows up. They don't just rely on Jason.
And again,
they lost to Green. They didn't have one of their players also.
Yuri
wasn't there. It's a big deal.
It could make a big difference.
And
you gotta do what you gotta do.
I said this last week. He put me at number 1 last week. I said they were missing Yuri. He didn't care. But whatever. Players.
So you are agreeing that they beat you in a 7-game series?
I didn't say anything. I said I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know.
Should we make the finals best out of 3?
I think so.
My question to you.
Oh, one more thing. Shout out to Yuri Koptiev. He has the best pregame outfit. The best one. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, we should start doing that pregame outfit.
Yes.
My question to you, who do you see making the finals and who do you see winning the finals? 2 teams.
With my team inside
With
there,
your team inside.
Teal and black.
Teal and black. Who do you think is winning?
Teal.
Opa.
Okay.
I like it.
No, let's take Teal out of the equation.
You want to take Teal out of the
Obviously,
equation? Take Teal out of the equation?
2 teams in the finals.
Obviously, I'm going to say black and green, right? But I think are very, very close to replacing one of those teams is white.
I knew he was going to say that.
Okay.
Yeah, I like them. I like that team.
And who do you think is...
Tough guys.
Pick 3
I like
people
that
for
team.
MVP.
Jason, Yochananov,
And Nate Ilyabayev.
Yeah, I mean,
let's give it,
the truth is Nate Ilyabayev, he's not giving that high volume scoring like those 2 guys are.
You think Jacob Arambayev has a chance?
Yes, if they go deep, yeah. That's
So
a good
Jacob,
Jason, and
Yochananov. So here's the question: if you take
Yochananov.
all 3 of them off their team, which team is sinking to the bottom?
Yochananov.
So by definition, you're saying Yochananov should be the front runner for MVP.
I don't look at it like that. I don't really look at
Over
it like
Jason.
that. But I think if you take him off the team, yes, they're dropping the furthest.
Okay, so by
I think
definition,
black and navy blue have a more of a complete team than light blue.
And who do you think is your 3 people for DPOY?
I like Ilyabayev. I really do. I'm telling you, he's a really good defensive player. I see the way he helps.
To him.
I like Ilyabayev as a defensive player of the year. He doesn't get those ridiculous blocks and swats and stuff like that, but he's a very smart defender. He's number 1. I like Daniel Yusupov's game. By the way, Daniel Yusupov, when I had that blue team, I had Yochananov, we had Gabi Yakubov, we had Mishpatov, we had Moshe Baruchov, me and
Daniel
Rav
Yusupov.
And we drafted
Yaakov Chaimov.
we drafted Daniel
Daniel
Yusupov.
Yusupov.
Oh, you're talking about
And we made a
him?
trade for Yaakov Chaimov. We ended up winning the championship that year.
They won the championship, and you know,
Yochananov was the 4th option
And
on
you-
that team.
you guys want to hear the most interesting stat? They had Yochananov, Gabi Yakubov, Mishpatov, Yaakov Chaimov, Moshe Baruchov, my brother. You know who was the finals MVP?
Who?
Tell him.
Yehuda Nisanov.
Yehuda Nisanov.
I was finals MVP that year. Yeah. I was finals MVP that year. But happens to be Daniel Yusupov was my neighbor, right? Just going back to what I said before.
How do you kept him? You guys would have never lost.
You know what? Honestly, I wanted to change of pace, and I had another team that I really liked. The next year when we lost, I had Yochananov and Israelov. That was a really fun time.
final.
Also, yeah, very very fun. We were like 50 seconds away from winning it that year as well. But Daniel Yusupov was my next door neighbor, 2 doors down. I didn't really know him for years. All of a sudden, Ami comes together, or the Zili comes together at the time. All of a sudden, now we talk, hi and bye, and now all of a sudden we have a relationship, as opposed to before he was my neighbor, barely even said hello to each other.
Wow.
So that's the beauty about this organization.
But we can tell Yehuda bleeds teal. I could tell.
And last question before we have to sign off: who do you think is the most overrated team in the league?
Wow, the most overrated team in the league. So I had Purple up there. In the beginning, I thought they were much higher, but they're obviously not playing well. So obviously they're not overrated at this point. The most overrated team
Red
at this point, either red or orange. But I think I'm going to go with red.
Nice.
Red most overrated.
But they just be green.
Red. Listen, I think they're.
We had no answer
listen, I'm
for
not
Gabby.
trying to knock them. They're a good team. I see how they can be exposable. So if teams make adjustments, they can expose them.
Right.
But I could be wrong. No
we'll
knock on red.
Right.
Yeah.
No offense.
No offense. Yeah, I had to pick one.
Disrespectfully. Anyway.
Shabbat shalom, guys.
Shabbat shalom, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Awesome. Good job, guys.